full, I'm gonna get it.
Now, be sure and get a good meal to stand back when he fires up.
Okay. Yeah, let me move
Get
the
over
camera.
about where he is now, yeah.
Yeah. Had to get a good view of it.
That's kind of exciting.
You said it takes about an hour and a half to melt that bronze.
Something like that, here normally.
About an hour, 10 minutes, really.
And we're going to have a full deal tonight, Horn.
Oh, Lord.
We won't have that. And I'm not sure that's enough, to be honest with you.
Do you?
We think about doing a crematorium here if this runs out. Everybody set them up.
You have to be a little person, wouldn't it?
There's a coin, we call them coins. That's what's left over at the bottom. Put that in your pocket for a good look.
Yeah.
Where that comes in here after a while. This is a match plate, and the reason it's called a match plate, there's buckles on the front, and they match up with the back of the buckle. Okay, so first thing we do. Clean that off a little bit. Now, what I use down here, this is called the drag. We would normally call it the bottom, but it's the drag. This is called the coat, which is the top of what we're doing. So the first thing we do is pack the bottom. Now this sand we use is not really sand, it's ground rock. It comes out of North Carolina. It's called olivine. And it's 180 grit. And sand like you get in your stream where water's moving it, if you could look under a microscope, would be round. This sand has little jagged edges because it's ground up. We mix two kinds of clay with it, our bentonite, southern bentonite and western bentonite. And one of them is used for firing, like you do clay, and other sticks to the sand and makes it bond together. This is called party powder. And what it does is help the sand pull off what you're casting. And I've done it many times without it, but it works. But I like to put it on there, especially on the face of the buckle or the face of your casting, because you can see it so much better. Now, what I've done, I've riddled sand in buckets here, and it moves along a little faster that way. Otherwise, we'd riddle our sand to cover this, but since this has already been riddled, so I don't have to go through that step.
What he's talking about is to get all that little pieces out and all
Yeah,
that.
get the lumps out.
That gives you a real smooth sand right on the surface.
Yeah, that's what you want. As you can see, I'm just about out of sand. Now this flask is built at an angle, so we have to pound the edges here to make sure the metal doesn't run out. This is called green sand casting. I don't know why they call it that. I guess just because it's just pure old sand, not some synthetic mixture. There's a lot of different ways of pouring metal these days. This is a real primitive way, and this is kind of a dying art. Not too many people doing this anymore. That's called a backboard, by the way, that I put on, or bottom board that I put on there. Use this bell. It's a bell pattern. Use that to make our hole, our pour hole. This is called a squeegee. And I imagine that thing is 75 years old. Old piece of equipment.
Do they still make that anymore?
I imagine they do. I don't know. I need to check that serial number sometime. See just how old it is. Contact. Now, our our equipment has gotten so old that it doesn't pull straight sometimes. So I'm going to see how to do this. We started this back in 1977. I started pouring. At that time, I was getting stuff poured by the foundry in Laverne, a buddy of mine, and I started pouring it about 97, 8, I guess. So I've been doing it about 15 years. Morris used to always say it takes 20 years to be a good foundry man, so I got a ways to go.
Who said that?
The guy that had the foundry,
Oh,
Morris.
okay.
He was killed in a car wreck along about Christmas. I'm about the only one left out of the whole bunch. Artist died a couple years ago. Usually check these patterns, see if there's sand. Some sand stuck right there. We lost that one. No. I'll mark it off. But there's a picture of what it looks like. Now the metal will flow down in here. It'll run down the center, the runner, which is on the bottom. That other plate, and then go out to each bucket. And a little bit to loosen that. A lot of things we do just by rope. We've done them, and I don't know if it does any good or not, to be honest. Drag the back of the buckle. Now this is something that we do. When the hot metal comes down in there, of course this traps air, and that air has to go somewhere. And if it comes out through the sand, it's okay, but if it comes out through the buckle, you'll get holes in it. So we've tried to relieve the pressure a little bit, or let the air out by putting these holes in there. And I don't know, it seems like it helps sometimes. Sometimes I don't know. It seems to make much difference. Now, a buckle where you got a lot of detail, we don't have any problems. But where you got a big solid, like these letters here, or that A, U, then you're going to have some problems. We don't get everything. So that's it. Put them together. You see we got 2 blocks of sand there, right?
Right.
The snap flask comes in that you snap it apart. And put a collar on when we pour, that metal will flow out where the two come together. So we'll put it out there with the weights on it. When we pour, you know, the metal will be falling at least that far and then down in there. There's some kind of formula. As much weight that goes in there, you need so many pounds of weight on there to keep it from coming apart. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get one more box. Started this, the guy that had the foundry in Mars Park, he was in my wedding, by the way. We've been buddies since my day, about freshman high. And in fact, best man. So we were talking about getting into it. I was going around there looking for something to do, and one day he made windmills. And one day he says, I can make belt buckles if you can sell them. And I said, okay, let's go. And boy, I'll show you some of this stuff sometime. I'm primitive stuff, gosh, I'm awful. And we went down to the Tennessee State Fair, sit up down there, and that was funny. We had the first Elvis buckle bottle. We had ELVIS something. And we found out that people wanted custom work, so we started that. Morris did some of the artwork, but he's an architect, and he was doing this on the side, so he didn't have a lot of time. And rented a guy in Murfreesboro by the name of Duke, and he started doing artwork. The first artwork he ever did, first little while, was $5 a piece. What did he do a piece of artwork for? And so we didn't know about making the patterns, but my father made rubber stamps. He was retired, and he just made rubber stamps in the basement. And we were there one day, and the thing that they used to make those rubber stamps, Morris looked at it and said, I can cast off that. And I said, well, we need to get what made that. It was a little piece of board that the rubber goes in. So we went to a place called Dixie Plating in Nashville and talked to guys that did that and told them what we needed. And what they do, they make plates for embossing books or printing plates, and they can be flat or they can be undercut. It doesn't matter because they ink them up. Ours has to have slope. This is kind of a witchcraft thing as far as I'm concerned. So what the artist does, take a piece of art, we send it to, and now one of the sons is doing it in Nashville. Alco Graphics, yeah. And he'll shoot that onto a negative, take that negative and burn it on the plate, and wherever it burns away the white part, it leaves the deeper part. Then he throws it in acid and it eats it away. And it comes out with a slope on it. I'm blue while he does that. So that's been the secret of ours, and man, anything we give them, they make us good patterns. And I used to get a pattern, and you'd pull it 3 or 4 or 5 times, it wouldn't work, and then you start working. But now, boy, it doesn't matter, you just put one out there work. So that's how we got our pattern. And we were probably one of the first people in the country to use those as patterns. So that's that stuff. Used to, they'd make a whole plate, have to make the whole plate.
So what all are these buckles here?
Okay, this is Steam Fitters Union. Benji's working up there at Johnsonville, New Johnsonville, and there's a bunch of these guys up there. Benji's in this electrical union. There's one of them's got his number in Memphis, and this one doesn't have a number on it. This is our club buckle right here, Hunting Club, Indian Creek Hunting Club. And we got some new members, so I always give them a buckle. I've got a guy I dealt with a long time up in Massachusetts that sells license plates, card clubs and all. And he'll send these things down, the ugliest things you've ever seen. I've told him. I can't imagine anybody wearing that, something like that. But it look okay on the license plate. Now, when I fold that, I want you to look at that. Well, you can look at it right here. It's facing. Can you figure out what that is? What that says?
No, I ain't got a clue. JJV2. 3 J's.
Okay, there's 3 C's. That's Roman numeral 300.
Oh, okay.
5, 6, 7.
307.
307.
Now what is that? Like a car engine or something?
You won't believe it. They come from Wyoming, I think.
Huh.
It's an area code of Wyoming.
Area code 307. I never would have thought it.
Taking care of business. Is that a Elvis? Is the TCB?
That's TBC.
TBC. Okay.
He's talking about.
Yes,
He's
yes.
talking about right
that.
here.
Oh, I don't know what that is, to be honest. He sends the artwork down. We don't do the artwork for him. That is the one that I've been looking for since yesterday. The last one. This business is like bear hunting. It's hours and hours of boredom followed by a few seconds of sheer terror. When we start pouring out there, you'll see what this part is boring. But you gotta have. Morris had a guy work for him that could do 18 boxes in an hour and a half. Supposedly. I've never been that close to that. I took a pile of buckles. I've got two sons in Mercersburg. To my other sons is a computer guy. And they were going to put them on the internet and set up all this. He's never done anything. So if I get those back and what I've got, we could go on the Facebook with I don't guess that makes any difference. You don't get over here close, get a picture of that.
Lord, that is full.
I don't know how close I need to get, but I'll get where I can see y'all pouring it.
That's about as much as we ever put in one, to be honest. You got the grave fixed? I don't think we don't need it.
Oh, I got a hole there, look. Dang. I'm gonna put that other glove back on.
This is that big plaque in there showing it, grave marker. And it's from the front end.
Right.
And we'd have a hard time pouring buckles that full because they're in the middle. But that's why we all like to have one of those to get rid of that stuff. So that's the slag.
You got a whole lot. I can't get that off the side.
Now, if you poured water in that, man, that thing would blow to the ceiling. The only time I got halfway hurt. This thing was wet and I stuck it in there. We get that.
Is that all you got?
That's all it does. Okay, here's where the fun begins. If you want to get right over in there,
Over in the middle?
and we're in the middle, and otherwise we'll be.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it's not dangerous,
Okay.
but you'll get a good picture of us.
Unless you
Oh, no, you. Oh, good Lord, Bill. Oh.
That's heavy, Dale.
Yes, sir. It's the only job I know that this thing gets heavy the further you go around. The more you get out of there, the heavier it gets.
I don't know about you, though. I think it gets lighter. It's heavy now.
Well, it hasn't got any lighter. We poured 3 boxes.
Yeah.
Still heavy to me.
They're as heavy as it was. You just better quit talking.
What does that weigh, you think?
Close, 180 maybe. I don't know what that crucible. We got 110 pounds of metal. Crucible may be 60. Did you bring some more boxes in here, Bill? Jeez. We done 20 already. You gonna make it?
Yeah. This is a nice one. Woo-ha!
Now this was kind of our invention here. I'm breaking these sprues off while the metal's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's a real problem cutting the buckle off. But see, we got one sprue and one big thing. We break it in half.
Mm-hmm.
So we got two halves to deal with, and the sprue is out of the way.
And thank God we didn't have a breakout.
But I did something there. I went all the way through. I reckon on that one, the metal was frozen.
So it don't affect that buckle. It's not liquid enough
No,
to
it's
damage
it's
anything.
frozen.
One thing I noticed is there is no waste. That's amazing to me.
Why?
I like the idea that there's no waste to the brass.
No, we use it over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, we probably lose a little bit each time we do it. See, I went completely through that thing, Horn. That's twice, huh?
You're so strong.
I don't remember doing that before.
I was telling Tom, Darrell's mama died this afternoon.
Who did?
Darrell's mama. You know.
Who's mama?
Darrell Wellbanks, my neighbor.
Oh. Oh,
I thought you knew Darrell.
no. I mean, I didn't know her name. Go there. You mean
You knew Darrell.
the one that used to live down the highway?
Yeah.
Really? She been sick for a while? Or?
Yeah. lung cancer. Hasn't been very long.
Huh. We turn all the lights off. That's really pretty. Looks like a witch is having a deal here. What they did, the old finders, was clean that crucible out while it's still hot off the side, but using that borax, you don't have to do it.
So that borax keeps it pretty clean.
Yeah. And what happens, used to, crucibles will get smaller and wouldn't hold as much over a period of time. Now they get larger.
Hmm.
The edge away. You turn it off out there, Bill.
How much gas do you go through when you fire that thing up?
Probably 5 gallons, I don't know. See, we had a big tank up there at one time. We started off using those little tanks. How much gas you think we use, Bill?
I had no idea.
Bill, that's hot. If you want to put that in there. You want me to carry it in there?
I did.
Just flip her over. Usually wait a day. The old founder used to break them out every night, but so I always check the back and see if I got them lined up good. That used to be a problem. That's a little off. Yep. Now there's a buckle for detail if you want to see it. Let me take that out there. You got your gloves on? Yeah. Just wire brush that Jack Daniels off and show them the detail that we get. So y'all come over here and look. See all that detail? That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Black magic. Maybe white magic, I don't know.
Magic anyway.
It's
Huh?
magic. It's amazing.
It really
It's
is.
amazing. That detail like that could come out of sand.
So that's what I was saying. The more detail, the easier it is. We could do 100 of those and maybe not lose over 1 or 2. So now the fun begins. Come down here in the morning.
Yeah, I wanna go.
Start breaking out.
Well, sure is nice to meet you.
Much obliged,
One more
Bill.
time.
Hope to see you again.
Yes, sir. Tell me your name one more time.
Bill Horner.
Nice to meet you so much.